I'm Nima Rajan, and this is Forum Daily's Holiday Special. A 10-year-old girl is using her artistic talent to inspire and make a difference for children just like herself. Angela Campos was diagnosed with a rare combination of health conditions at birth, so rare that there's an ongoing study that is following her life journey. Thanks to the doctors at Sick Kids Hospital, Angela is a thriving, energetic, and passionate young girl who wants to support the very hospital that saved her life. And she's doing it with her local handmade jewelry business, Blue Bunny Beads, where she makes bracelets, necklaces, rings, and more. Well, joining us now to tell us more about Blue Bunny Beads is Miss Angela Campos herself. Angela, welcome to Forum Daily.
Hi.
So tell us a little bit more about Blue Bunny Beads and the work you do, Angela.
So Blue Bunny Beads focuses on natural gemstone jewelry that work with energy centers in the body to remove energy blockages and heal the body, mind, and spirit.
Oh, and you don't really see a lot of 10-year-olds starting their own business, Angela. So what led you to create your jewelry company?
So for my birthday, I got a beading kit and decided to make my grandma and mom a bracelet. And it was so beautiful, and they said I should start selling it. So I decided to open my business.
And it's an interesting name you have, Blue Bunny Beads. Why did you call your company that?
So first of all, my mom calls me her bunny. And also, my Auntie Kayla Blue passed away suddenly, and she was really close to me. So in honor of her, I decided to make my bunny blue.
All right, Angela, now I'm wearing my Blue Bunny's beads bracelet right now. I'm looking at the beads. They're very unique, Angela. So tell our viewers what makes your jewelry products stand out compared to others.
So I think they stand out because I am only 10 years old, and I've been told I create really beautiful and unique products, especially for my age.
And I know bracelets aren't the only things you sell at Blue Bunny Beads. So what kind of other products do you have there at your store?
So here at Blue Bunny Beads, I create bracelets, bookmarks, earrings, necklaces, and rings. I am working towards designing rosaries in the near future.
And we know Blue Bunny Beads is also helping charity, especially Sick Kids Hospital. So tell us a little bit more about your charity work.
So 25% of all proceeds I make will be donated to Sick Kids Hospital. In the past, I have raised money for 2 other causes, including an Every Child Matter organization and a breast cancer organization. I am hoping to have them donated by New Year's of 2022.
All right, Angela, and we mentioned you have your own personal experience with Sick Kids Hospital. Can you share your story with our viewers?
Yes. So when I was a baby, I had a heart condition called hypoplastic aorta. That is where my aorta valve had a kink in it. Also, my heart is on the right side rather than the left, which is called dextrocardia. So since my heart is on the right side, my lung is smaller than it should be. So I also had something called pulmonary hypertension. Lastly, and most recently, they found that there is a wider opening in my aorta now, and also that I have a bit bicuspid valve, which means I have 2 flaps instead of 3 at the opening of my aorta.
Wow, Angela, that's a lot for a 10-year-old girl to handle. So you're not only smart, but very brave. What are you hoping for through your donations to Sick Kids Hospital?
So Sick Kids is redeveloping the hospital to create spaces and bring in new equipment for research and much, much more. I am hoping my donations will help in some way.
And where can our viewers learn more about and buy some Blue Bunny Beads, Angela?
You can find Blue Bunny Beads on Facebook at Blue Bunny Beads by Ange, and on Instagram at Blue Bunny Beads.
And are there any special Boxing Day sales that we should know about?
Actually, right now until New Year's, if you order $35 or more, you get free shipping across Canada. And if you order $60 and over, you get a free item as well as free shipping.
All right. And is there any favorite product that you have in your store that you want to recommend to our viewers?
So to be honest, it is really hard for me to decide because I love them all. But if I had to choose, this would be my favorite because purple is my favorite color.
Oh, very beautiful, Angela. So do you have any last messages for all of Canada during this holiday season?
I just want to let everyone know that I take custom orders, and if you would like to place order, you can message me on my Facebook or Instagram pages. And have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right, Angela Campos, thank you again for joining us today on Forum Daily.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back after the break with a look at ageism and the elderly living in Canada. We'll have an interview with Dr. Kenneth Rockwood up next. A Halifax-based professor of geriatric medicine and neurology has won a prestigious international prize for his work on understanding ageism. Dr. Kenneth Rockwood is also a professor of Alzheimer's research at Dalhousie University and senior director of a newly formed Frailty and Elder Care Network at Nova Scotia Health. He is the winner of the 2021 Ryman Prize, and his work on aging and the clinical frailty scale has been recognized and used internationally. It has made a huge impact in the fight against ageism. Well, joining us now to tell us more about his work and his recent award is Dr. Kenneth Rockwood himself. Dr. Rockwood, welcome to Forum Daily.
Thank you very much.
So let's start with the Ryman Prize itself. Doctor, what is the significance of this award to you?
So it's an important award. It's an international award, and it is validation in some sense of the work that we're trying to do. I'm hoping that it's well timed because with this newly formed Frailty and Elder Care Network, we're going to be asking people to change, and change is hard. And I'm hoping that this can help de-risk the idea that the sorts of changes that we think would be helpful are the types of changes that other people understand to be useful as well.
All right, doctor, let's get into your work. Ageism, that's a very unique topic. So tell us more about your experience and work in the field of understanding aging.
Yeah, so I've been interested in this for more than 30 years. I've grown old in this. And what I'm particularly quite interested in is the idea of frailty. And frailty has a statistical sense in which it simply means variability in the risk of bad outcomes in relation to people with the same exposure, which here is age. So why do people of the same age have different risks of dying, of going to hospital, of going into long-term care? And it turns out that we've gotten used to thinking about this one disease at a time. So the tendency is to say, well, someone has this increased risk because they've got heart disease or stroke or so on. But an inescapable aspect of aging is that things go wrong, and they tend to go wrong not just one at a time, or as it's sometimes said, the problems of old age come as a package. So even though some people have more problems than others do, the chance of having only one particular type of illness, as people particularly get in after the age of 75, gets to be small. And the challenge is that we've had great success in healthcare by studying one thing at a time. And now we need to change our focus, so we have to get happy with the complexity that commonly attends frail older adults when they're acutely ill.
All right, doctor, and we also mentioned that the clinical frailty scale developed by you is internationally recognized. So tell us a little bit more about the scale and how it helps doctors around the world.
Well, the scale came about in a very pragmatic way. Way back in the 1990s, we were part of a really cool study called the Canadian Study of Health and Aging. And as part of that, we were examining about 3,000 people over the age of 65. The intent was to get some way to grade their overall health. And so within geriatrics, there's a way we do that called comprehensive geriatric assessment. So we made sure that the data collection included the rudiments of a comprehensive geriatric assessment, but it was done by people who weren't geriatricians. So we had to have some way for all the doctors, whether they were neurologists or internists or geriatricians or such, to be able to talk to each other. And so the clinical frailty scale meant to integrate all the information they were gathering, but to present it in a way that shows the most common patterns by which people age and when they get to be frail. So the way to think of it is you're not frail or not frail. There are grades of frailty. And so what the clinical frailty scale does, it helps people distinguish from those who aren't frail at all, who have very mild frailty, all the way up to having very severe frailty. And so it came about from that standpoint. Subsequently, it has gained a life as a way to address the more general issue outside of a research context and ordinary clinical care. How frail is this person? And so that's the type of work that we have been aiming to do with the clinical frailty scale, and it's found a real important niche for that, both here and elsewhere.
Doctor, that's a very interesting field of work. We'll definitely be looking out for more from you, sir. Thank you again for joining us today on Forum Daily.
My pleasure.
More to come after a short break. We'll be speaking with Mark Soverano, the executive director of Raising the Roof, a national charity aiming to provide long-term solutions to homelessness in Canada. We'll be speaking to him about the current homelessness situation in the country and the work he does. Stay tuned. Stocks closed higher on Wall Street Wednesday, adding to the week's gains ahead of the Christmas holiday. The S&P 500 rose 1%, the Nasdaq rose 1.2%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.7%. The Russell 2000, a meter of small company stocks, rose 0.9%. Technology companies and a mix of retailers led the gains. Major indexes are still on track for weekly gains after a rally on Tuesday. European and Asian markets also closed higher. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note fell to 1.46%. And U.S. markets will be closed on Friday in observance of Christmas. Well, joining us now to give us his Christmas outlook for the markets is Brendan Caldwell, director of Caldwell Securities Limited. Brendan, welcome back to Forum Daily.
Thank you, Nima, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Brendan. It is a magical time of the year. Everybody's feeling it. So if there is one Christmas wish or Christmas wish you could make for your investors regarding investments, what would it be?
Well, if I could make one wish for them, that they know what they would like to eventually use their money for themselves, for their families, for the charities they want to support, and then put some thought to, over this holidays, how best to get from here to there. It's a conversation I think worth having with one's partner, with one's spouse, with one's children. I think conversations between the generations about money are very, very important. And have it with one's professional advisor, because I think most of us are half-remembered arguments that our parents had about money. Most parents don't talk to their kids about it. But to the extent that you have a good advisor that can help you articulate to yourself and to another human being what you'd like to actually use your money for, then I think you're beginning to be on the right track.
All right, Brendan, some good advice there. Now, we mentioned that the U.S. markets will be closed on Friday in observance of Christmas. So what exactly does Christmas mean for the stock markets?
Well, from a logistical point of view, if you're up here in the Great White North, it's a bit of a, how would one say it, a schmozzle. Because the U.S. is closed, markets are closed tomorrow. We're a half day tomorrow. Then we're closed Monday and Tuesday in observance of Christmas and Boxing Day. America is not taking any days off for New Year, but we're taking the third off for New Year. So that's all a bit of a mess. Where it will make a bit of a difference is any sort of tax loss selling people would like to do. Wednesday or Friday morning are going to be the last days for Canadians to actually do that. With Canadian stocks.
All right, Brendan, and this time of year, we often hear about a Santa Claus rally. So that's a very fitting name for this season. But what exactly is a Santa Claus rally, and is it real?
Maybe. Well, we got some today, as you were talking about this. The early in December, I think what we saw is really two things. Well, three things. You had the much talk about COVID, which I just found out about an hour ago that I have. So put that out there. You had the interest rates in the U.S. particularly looking like they want to go higher, and that's low interest rates have been a big support for markets. But then from a tax loss perspective, you have people wanting to sell to get whatever gains they can off the table or losses off the table now. So early in December, you've seen a lot more selling, but anybody who wanted to sell is probably sold already. So toward the end of the year, right up until Christmas and between Christmas and New Year's, you don't have very many people selling. The market tends to go up, a Santa Claus rally.
All right, Brendan. Well, it is 2 days before Christmas Day. What does Christmas mean to you?
Well, leaving all markets and everything aside, that if it's true that the God who made heaven and earth and everything in it actually broke into history. He cared enough about what we were going through to want to be able to experience it himself in all the good and bad and ugly that we go through. If that story is in fact true, then it means to me that it's the most fantastic, wonderful, beautiful story ever told.
Beautiful message there. Any other last messages for our investors as they prepare for the holidays, Brendan?
I think this is a very stressful time for a lot of folks. At the best of times, the holidays are very stressful for people. Spend some time thinking, praying, meditating, talking to God as you understand him, such that realizing that he cares more about you, even you care about you, to the extent that you can turn over some of the worries that you've got, if only for one day, then I think you'll be in a better frame of mind and heart to enjoy all the best that even this very odd season has to offer. Thank you, Nima.
Some food for thought there, Brendan. Always great having you on Forum Daily. Thank you again, and Merry Christmas, Brendan.
Merry Christmas, Nima.
We'll be right back. A new food price report from Dalhousie University's Agri-Food Analytics Lab says the average family of four can expect to spend over $14,500 a year on food and groceries in 2022. That's $1,000 a year more compared to 2021. This rise in food costs will likely have a significant impact on those who cannot afford fresh and healthy food for their families under current conditions, which is why food banks across Canada are working extra hard to meet their community's needs. Well, joining us now to give us a picture of how food banks across the country are supporting their communities this holiday season is Mr. David Armour, Interim CEO at Food Banks Canada. Sir, welcome to Forum Daily.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So let's start with this, sir. How do food banks contribute to and help families in their communities?
Well, food banks really help in three ways. Number one is they provide quality food to those that need food and those that find themselves unable to buy their own food. Number two is they speak with the people that come into food banks and find out why are they having these issues and what can be done to help. It's sort of a counseling and referral to other resources and other ways of helping them. And then the third way food banks help is we work with government at the provincial and federal level to really work on why is it that people that are on disability pensions don't have enough money to feed and house themselves? Why is it that people that are unemployed don't have enough? So really work at the policy level. So it's feeding them first, helping the individual and the family with what's happening in their lives, and then working with government to advocate to make some changes to the social safety net.
And considering that we are still battling this pandemic, how has this current crisis impacted the need for Canadian food banks in Canada?
Well, the need has gone up dramatically. Research we did this year in Hunger Count from Food Banks Canada saw a 20% increase, the largest increase since 2008 recession in use of food banks in March as opposed to March in 2019. So we're seeing a huge increase. What's happening is what we're calling, sadly, a perfect storm. Increased food prices, increased housing prices, high levels of unemployment due to COVID, of the most vulnerable people getting unemployed due to COVID. And we're seeing increased inflation. We're seeing pullback of government support as we slowly come out of COVID. So it's really the perfect storm for people that are experiencing financial challenges. It's multiple effects all at once.
The perfect storm indeed, sir. Now, we mentioned this report from the Agri-Food Analytics Lab, so let's touch on it a little bit more. How will these ongoing rising prices impact the communities that food banks serve?
Well, for a huge number of people that are showing up at food banks, one of the reasons is the food is just too expensive. They just don't have the money for food as the costs are going up. And so we're hit by increased need from those that are coming to food banks. And then also, you can imagine for food banks themselves, where we need to supplement the food that's being donated with purchasing food, the price of the purchasing food is going up as well.
So what are some of the initiatives that Canadian food banks are drafting to address these issues here?
So the initiatives we're drafting really is, if we focus on the advocacy side, and why is it that in a country like Canada, we have so many people that are food insecure? We really look at who's coming to food banks. talking about seniors who are having trouble meeting their rent. We're talking about disabled people. We're talking about low-income renters. We're talking about arrayed people in the north. So our advocacy is really focused on 5 areas. Providing new supports for renters living with low incomes, modernizing and expanding supports for low wage and unemployed workers, progressing towards a minimum income floor, income supports for low income single adults, and also increasing measures to reduce food insecurity in the north.
All right.
So it's really focusing in those areas.
All right, sir, just about a minute left here, but in terms of our Canadian viewers and how they can help, what are some food donation items that Canadians can contribute to their local food banks this holiday season?
Well, starting off, we say that we really appreciate at food banks. It's really helpful for people to give food, funds, and time. For people who are able to volunteer and help out, for people that are able to give funds so we can supplement what's donated. And in terms of giving food, really it's what's the high quality food that you would like to eat yourself, that you would like to feed your family, and how can you bring that to a food bank? Food banks are moving more and more to fresh food and high quality food. So whatever people are able to donate, from the really stable shelf food to the fresher food, whatever people wish to donate. And in some cases, just call your local food bank or check out on the website what they're looking for in this month.
All right, I'm Nima Rajan, and that was Forum Daily's Holiday Special. For more news, be sure to visit our website, thenewsforum.ca, and you could also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On behalf of Forum Daily, I would like to wish everyone a happy holiday season and a Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining us on Forum Daily News. Please stay safe and be well. Take care, Canada. We'll see you next time.